Welcome back to First Take. We're in a football Wednesday here, and we're cooking. Two undefeated NFC teams face off this weekend when the defending champion Eagles take on the upstart Buccaneers. Philly is coming off a huge comeback win against the Rams, where special teams came through in the clutch. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay pulled off a comeback of their own against the Jets after Baker Mayfield led his team on his third game-winning drive in 3 games. Guys, for as dominant as Philly has been versus the NFC, the Bucs have actually beaten them the last 2 times they have played. So I go to you. Are the Buccaneers the biggest challenge to the Eagles in the NFC?
No. It's the Detroit Lions. I'm not going to be dismissive of what I just saw from the Detroit Lions in Baltimore. That was a dominant performance against a team that I still think is a top 5 team in the NFL in Baltimore. Baltimore scored 30-plus points in each of their games and lost 2 of them. You usually win those, Mad Dog. But the unfortunate part is you played 2 teams that probably going to be there in the end in Buffalo and Detroit, right? And you may have to see Buffalo again. The Lions, that first week against Green Bay gave everybody a lot of pause because of the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator change. And I got to be honest, it did for me as well.
Same here.
They didn't look like the Detroit Lions, right? The physicality wasn't there. The explosive plays wasn't there. Jared Goff, none of the stars had any numbers. If it would have been a semblance of recognition, you'd be like, all right, it's just going to take them some time to work in it. But damn, did they get it going right after that. And then, so we in Baltimore Monday night, right, getting ready for the game. And Kelvin Shepard, the defense coordinator for the Detroit Lions, comes over and we talk for a little while. And it was just something about him that I was like, that's a lot of confidence to play against Lamar Jackson in Baltimore.
Good insight.
3rd week of the season. Got a lot of confidence. I said, how's Aiden Hutchinson doing? He was like, he's 100. That was his answer. He's 100. And it was just that aura that they built, that Dan Campbell has built, is back in Detroit. Now, I don't know if it was ever lost, but it looked like it in week 1. That's going to be a dominant team, and I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. Still got Philly number 1, because Philly has won so many games and figures out ways to win them. But this iteration of Detroit is the most dangerous team to Philly.
No question about it. I completely agree with you. And I'm going to use the same energy because we fear here on First Take. I was all over John Moore, offensive coordinator, after week 1 because I'm like, listen, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, Goff. You have all the pieces in place that you had over the last 2 or 3 years when Ben Johnson was there as the offensive coordinator. You can't go out there and wet the bed in the opener against the Green Bay Packers and look the way that they looked. So I was calling them out. Now we got to give him some love.
No doubt.
He's the right man for the job. He's showing that he's proven that Dan Campbell made the right decision by letting him succeed, Ben Johnson, even instead of Ekstrand, who we looked at in week 1 for the New York Jets as the offensive coordinator, and we like, did you pick the wrong dude? Well, that didn't happen. Having said all of that, I think you're absolutely right about the Detroit Lions. I view them as the number 1 threat, but I don't want to dismiss Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield, who's been balling for a couple of years. And I know Evans is going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks with his hamstring injury, but you got Evans, Godwin, and Igbuka when it really, really counts. With Baker Mayfield flinging that football. Worth is coming back for the first time now at your left tackle spot. So you got that secure as well. I'm just looking at Tampa Bay, and I'm saying they can beat anybody. I don't have them as the favorite over Philly. I don't have them as the favorite over the Detroit Lions, but they're going to have Detroit in their schedule. The only thing I would say about Tampa Bay is this, too, as well. A +6 point differential for a 3-0 start to a team is the smallest in NFL history. All right? They won the games in like 59 seconds left, like 6 seconds left, and at the buzzer.
Weren't great teams.
Against the Falcons, the Texans, and the Jets. So, again, the jury is still out on them. I would say Detroit is the answer to this question.
But you guys stole what I was going to say.
Before you, though, Mad Dog, there's an argument you can make that the Rams still are.
100% right. Don't rule out San Francisco either.
I am.
They got a lot of guys banged up. Now, Bosa's injury is a major problem.
That's a major problem.
Rams have lost 3 times in the last 10 months to this Eagles team.
And 2 of them they could have won. I mean, the first game they got killed. But you guys hit it on the head. The Bucs, listen, I can't go crazy. They won 1 game, the teams they've beaten. They're 1-8. Atlanta and the Texans and, of course, the Jets. So I can't go too crazy. To me, the Bucs are really about Mayfield, and that's the story for them. The Lions, it's about a team.
Yeah.
The defense, the offense, the quarterback, the running game, Campbell. The Bucs, their start is really the Ohio State kid's shown up too, but it's really about Mayfield, fourth quarter, chip on his shoulder, running on 4th and 10 for the first down against.
Awesome.
It's really about what he is doing more so than quote unquote team. The Lions, it's about the club. So that's the reason I would not make Tampa a legitimate threat to win the NFC.
I just want to remind everybody, and I know Philly came away with the win. The Rams were lining up for a field goal to win the game.
Of course.
So that is not as far away from that being the contender to the Philadelphia.
I think the Rams are very,
and they
very
were
dangerous.
dominant for a large part of that game.
I think the Rams, I mean, I think if you rank the NFC right now, I think you got to put Philly 1.
Lions, Rams.
I think you're right.
Yep.
I agree.
I would go Philly, Lions, Rams, and I would go, you wouldn't, I would go San Francisco 4.
And I
go Tampa 5.
I would go Tampa 4 and San Francisco 5.
I would echo you guys. I was the biggest critic of that Lions team after week 1, and Jared Goff has proceeded to kick my teeth in.
Oh, he's played great. He's done a great job.
Thanks, Jared.
He's played really well.
I am actually very frustrated and agreeing with y'all so much. Like we got
another hour.
Certain things
Well,
can't
you're
be done.
dealing with
Certain
Jared.
things can't be
Well,
denied.
you-
The man threw for over 4,600 yards last year.
Brilliant.
I know.
This is brilliance here. You're working with brilliance. At least me.
I
Not
got
too
you
much
know.
him.
See, there we
Me.
go.
I'm
Whatever.
brilliant. You're okay. You're not bad. You're not bad. I'm brilliant. You may continue.
Hey, I'm trying my hardest. Here we go.
Big number. We're talking about the Eagles and the Bucs this weekend, and if anyone has the Eagles number, it's Todd Bowles. Jalen Hurts is 1-4 against Bowles' defenses. His 4 losses to Tampa, his most against any opponent in his entire career. And speaking of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense, yesterday, Drew Brees, the great Drew Brees,
Get him, Drew.
was on First Take and said this about Philly's O.
I respect Philly. They are winning games. They're finding a way to win games. I can't stand to watch that offense. It's the most boring offense.
Okay.
It is.
Wow.
Most boring offense. Jeff Saturday took that as like a
like a
one
personal
glove slap to the face. Like
Sure.
he's challenging you to a duel.
I mean,
do you find the Eagles offense boring?
Absolutely not. 8 for 8 in the red zone. I mean, the highest percentage, 11 of 12, and converting 3rd and short. That's beautiful. They execute and they win. 19 of 20 games they win. There is nothing prettier than winning. And they win, and they're selfless as a team. They do whatever is required. And I'm not shocked that a quarterback is going to get on air and say it's boring to watch, because they want to throw it 100 times a game. The problem is you don't win many games that way. So he understands, we all understand the way the Eagles have done it. It is less risky, and they still get the biscuit. All right, they still get the biscuit, and they ain't risking it. That's what I'm talking about. Because the whole BA thing, right?
Yeah.
No risk it, no biscuit. Guess what? They don't have to risk it, and they get the biscuit. So let's keep it that way. Don't get pushed into doing dumb stuff. Keep playing the way you know how to play.
Okay, but tell the people why you're a little salty.
Well, he did beat me in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Thanks.
And by beating me, he threw like 3 slants and a bunch of checkdowns. And they were like, it was like a 1-yard pass on the scrimmage, and the receivers would go get 5 yards. It was a run game masked in a pass is what it was.
I'll say this. I watched Drew Brees' entire career in New Orleans. I never thought to myself, this is boring.
Yeah, that's
Watching
fair.
the Eagles, it's not, you made the fun of the words last week, but it's not aesthetically pleasing. Now, it is extraordinarily effective.
Yeah.
So I'm not arguing against that. But what he's saying, I think it's accurate. If truth is an absolute defense, my dad was a lawyer. He would always say, truth is an absolute defense. In this case, I think he's telling the truth.
Yeah, and I think he's not arguing that he wants his team to win. He said he want to have fun.
Right.
But I would make the argument that they would win more, which is almost impossible, but they would win by more comfortable margins and be in less close games if they did add the explosive play back to their offense. My argument is not you have to throw the ball. My argument is last year Saquon was running for 40, 50 yards on one play. They're not getting that from anywhere. So throw it out there, and you saw what happened when you throw it out to A.J. Brown. He shrugs off a DB like a backpack and runs down the sideline. Do that. That's not high risk.
Let's not get crazy. It wasn't like their pass game was super complicated.
That's true.
It's a comeback.
This is a sneaky great game, by the way.
Oh, it's
It's
unbelievable.
a great
Sneaky
game.
great game.
I only worry about Mike Evans. That's my only.
Can I say this too about the whole Todd Bowles?
Mike
thing
Evans,
with
for
Jalen?
those of you who didn't hear, not playing.
Right,
Hamstring, going to be weeks.
Yeah, the whole idea of the Todd Bowles shutting down Jalen Hurts. Todd Bowles shuts down a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
Their defense, first of all,
coach.
they can play the run. They're super physical up front, and they blitz you like crazy. So if you don't got answers, it's tough. Todd Bowles shuts down a lot of QBs. So there's no disrespect that they've lost 2 to those guys.
I mean, and it's